live on YouTube. All right, you guys, again, before you jump on over there, if you were not speaking today, I will start sharing my screen very soon as well. And then let me just do a little intro on the YouTube side of things as well for those of you guys listening to the live stream. Basically, long story short, if you're listening over here and if you're just tuning in on X, the reason we don't have a broadcast today is because I guess Elon Musk removed the feature from non-premium users, so I have to buy premium right now. But I guess it's going to take a few days to kick in, so we might not be doing any broadcasts for the next day or couple days, which is unfortunate because I was really looking forward to sharing some stuff live, of course. So again, if you're just tuning in on YouTube, that is why we're doing it today, and that's why it was delayed a little bit today as well. We're gonna run the show as usual. With that being said, appreciate everyone tuning in today. Don't forget to like and retweet the show to show some love and support to what we are doing here in the ecosystem, trying to promote all the platforms, the creators, and the builders who are here in Hedera. Foxman, what's up, brother? How you doing?
Self.
Phenomenal, brother. What's up with you, brother?
Yeah. Look, man, yeah, it's going to take a couple days for your X stuff to get approved. That's just the way it goes. But as far as other stuff, it is super great to see green candles everywhere. Looks like the market is starting to return slightly. So that's excellent. Saw that H Suite is going, it looks like they're going live on Bitmart today for trading. So congratulations to the H Suite team. That's outstanding.
Yeah, brother, for sure. Yeah, there's a lot more people are gonna. You know what? I gotta hold both phones because I tend to walk around when I'm chatting with you guys. I haven't done that since we started live stream, but I guess I can walk around again. But yeah, brother. I mean, a lot of people are gonna come back now that they see some green, and I did want to talk about. Sorry, if you guys are requesting to come up, I don't see it right away. I'm not used to. I'm not as used to anymore looking at the spaces. I'm mainly on desktop now, so forgive me if you're waiting for a bit there. Excuse me. So yeah, brother, I really want to show, and I will in a little bit. So again, jump on YouTube if you're not planning on speaking today. So you can follow along the charts and the technical analysis I'll be doing a bit later in the show as well. All right, you guys, trying to remember here. I usually have some tabs up here on on the broadcast, but yeah, we're gonna see more people jumping back in. Again, I haven't seen an official cross up just yet on the charts, but once that happens, I mean, everyone is just gonna be coming out of it wherever they were. So many people have left, so many people have gone quiet for various reasons. And a lot of it's because their bags are down. Right, my bags are down for the most and it sucks. No one's really happy about that. So yeah, I get it, but we've been here. We're gonna continue to talk about when we see the bull run in full swing. I don't think it's there just yet, but of course, Bitcoin over that, what is it, 60 something thousand range, people start getting excited again. They start feeling some hope, some optimism. But we've been here. I kept saying if we don't break that 50, that mid 50K level, I mean, I'm sleeping just fine. We're good. That's the range that is healthy for Bitcoin. And until we break it, I mean, the bull runs on. Everything's good. I'm excited. We don't have to wait another year. But yeah, we're just gonna continue to watch, continue to wait. Perma, Cantor, welcome to the stage. Hope you guys are doing well. Welcome everyone to the show. I see a bunch of you guys in the audience as well. Appreciate everyone tuning in here today. We'll keep the show running for another 30 minutes or so, just to let you guys know as well. What's up, you guys?
How's it going? It's with those 8 out of 10 one of these. Looks like the market is up today for now. It's exciting.
Yeah, brother, for sure. It's always exciting to see green. I personally, I'm just so used to the red that I'm just like, oh, it's a green day, whatever. Like, I'm here for when the market's actually like correcting fully, and everyone knows for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's been due. We've been talking about it, and tomorrow, we could see low 50 in the mid to low 50K. Right, this market is so volatile. But if you know what you're doing, or you are networking with the right people that know what's going on, you're not going to be too surprised. You're not going to get too caught off guard, and hopefully your trades are not too bad in relation to what the market's dealing. Cantor.
Oh, thank you. Lost you, brother.
I'm good. Cantor, can you hear me, brother?
Yeah, I'm not sure if you were asking a question there at the end. It cut off.
Okay, maybe it's just my connection there. But yeah, tell me what's up with you, brother. I know you pushed out a game on nationals as well. Just checking in.
Yeah, Snake Dash. It's the coolest indie game on Nationals today, and anyone can play it for free. We actually did a live face with Genfinity earlier today, and I covered everything end to end with Nationals in 30 minutes, which is like basically impossible. Uh, or King Solomon, he didn't really even get a chance to ask me a question, so it was just 30 minutes. But we did cover Snake Dash, and we covered the Nationals ecosystem and everything. How to inscribe a game and how to go through the whole process, and that was super duper fun. I guess the two big things happened between yesterday and today, and between last week with Snake Dash. With Snake Dash, I think kind of what we demonstrated is that you can go and launch an indie game as a hash, put it on chain, all the JavaScript and CSS on the HBAR consensus service, and then just share a link and have your audience play the game like immediately after you go and inscribe it, which is some really, really cool like buying power for your community / audience. Now you've got that game and you can go and create a leaderboard like the way that we did. And it really didn't take that much time to build the whole thing. Like, I'm not an indie game developer, and I wrote the game in 3 hours. And the leaderboard took like 30 minutes to put together with a public topic ID. And just going out of that, and like a day, people were competing and submitting scores, and now we're able to run giveaways and competitions against that. Which I think is a pretty neat way to grow an audience if you are a game developer, and you're probably more skilled than I am at making games and stuff. And it also goes to show, like, I think the reason why people like Smoke Dash is because it's actually fun and super addicting. Like, I can see people playing it every day right now. And I think with a lot of Web3 gaming, like, people think like, oh, you need millions of dollars to make the game great, right? Like, we're pouring literally millions of dollars of funding and setting it on fire to make these play at the end of it. When the goal should just be making something fun with it. So give me a second to.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. Yeah, I think arguably the simpler, the better. You've seen some games recently on Steam and even some games on other chains. It doesn't have to be a AAA title to garner millions of players, or it doesn't have to have the craziest graphics or funding to do any of that.
BC recently, and they said, like, these AAA 3 games are the easiest way to just literally take money and like set it on fire.
Yeah, the Web3, and I'm not here to promote or speak poorly of any games for that matter here in the ecosystem. I'm not going to name drop anything, but I agree with that as well. You go and look, and there's almost no games that have succeeded just in Web3 across the board. It's so tough, so competitive. It's hard to build something that's fun. It's hard to build something, and that goes for almost anything in the space, right? How do you continue to bring back users? How do you drive engagement, right? This whole space, essentially, right? No pun intended with the spaces here, with your projects, your platforms, whatever, right? Like, it is an attention economy at the end of the day. It's like, how do you continue to garner that attention? Perm, I thought I saw you open your mic. You're welcome to jump in or cancel.
I was going to say Flappy Bird if you're talking about simplicity.
Exactly. And there are probably millions of people that click that, right?
a lot of people are kind of crush. Like they're like a literal money printer.
Yeah.
It's addicting, and your mom could be on the train playing the game, going to work. You don't need these crazy high fidelity games to succeed. And with the Web3 gaming aspect, there are actually games you take money right now on the Tron network through Telegram. It's like a whole new thing that I discovered recently that's really interesting and fascinating.
With being honest in terms of gaming and Web3 gaming, I don't take pride in anything apart from being one of the best gamers in the world, hands down. And I love gaming, whether it be online, single player, PlayStation, PC, anything like that. There's not a single Web3 game which I've looked and said, yeah, I want to play it. It's too hard to create a AAA kind of game where you can compete with Web2. It's impossible with the funding and the experience and so on and so forth. So, in my opinion, Web3 games have to be simple. Because if they're not simple and you're trying to compete with Call of Duty, a shooting game, a racing game, it's not going to work out, in my opinion, of course.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm in my mid-20s, so I mean, in terms of gaming, I don't play as much anymore. I've spent a lot more time working. I don't have too much time gaming anymore. But when I was, like, honestly, some of the indie games, like some of the super simple, super basic stuff with leaderboard, just that competitive side. Sure, I've played AAA, and I've played on some major league aspects as well, and I was pretty good at certain games. But I mean, the simplicity and as I think Perma just said, right, like, or Cantor, right, just talked about how, like, someone's parents or grandparents, right, like, once you can really engage cross, and this whole space isn't even about gaming. We're just kind of talking about, I think we started off Nationals with Cantor on the new game, which, Cantor, if you haven't posted up in the Jumbotron, feel free to, I do see it up there. Appreciate you, brother. But yeah, I mean, it's really going to be, how do we engage, and then a lot of these points, to be honest, can be applied. It's applicable to crypto, right? How do we say, hey, come use our platform, come check out this token, come do X, Y, and Z with an NFT, whatever, right? To an audience that's greater than just the people that are currently here, outside of maybe even just the degens alone, right? Because I believe, I could be wrong, I believe that the future of this space is greater than simply catering to the degens, right? I think arguably there's many ways to argue that isn't only the future of this space, even though that's probably going to remain till we get more regulations, and then of course more people can talk about what the degen is going to look like here once regulations start. But that's a whole separate conversation. Counter, if you want to jump in.
Sorry for making this whole thing about gaming.
You're totally fine, brother.
I think I'm mostly just excited about this particular topic right now because I think for a large degree it could actually be a huge adoption mechanism for nationals in general, just even as a proof of concept to make these dumb, fun indie games. I made this thing in 3 hours, so somebody who spends maybe a week or something making a game could do something way more fun and interesting, and then you start combining that with traditional ad mediums to bring people in. The carrot doesn't have to be, go buy this crypto or go set up this wallet. The carrot can just be like, hey, here's a link, play the game, and the game is fun, right? Maybe you want to set up a wallet so that you can post the leaderboard so people have to score. Boom. Now you've got people in, and they didn't have to go through all of the confusing crap that's related to Web3 to play that game and get into Web3 itself. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That narrative.
Yeah, I'm just sharing. No, I completely agree. I'm just sharing a bunch of posts that I was writing earlier today and yesterday up in the Jumbotron. So if you guys haven't seen any of the content in the Jumbotron, feel free to jump up. I'll explain to you guys why if you're just tuning in. Shout out to you guys in the audience. Appreciate everyone coming up to speak today. Why we're not running the broadcast currently right now. Also, there's a reason, Postmaster, last week when you were clicking on that custom link, there was a reason why it wasn't working. I had thought that every single broadcast had the same link, but I was wrong. So basically I was so confused why people weren't coming up as much last week. is because none of the links worked last week. So yeah, I mean, it's all a work in progress. We're still figuring out exactly how we're going to go about it. And then today, I'll just let you guys know we're not broadcasting today because, or live streaming, I should call it, because I didn't have premium. And I guess Elon Musk said, hey, no more live streaming unless you have premium. So we're going to have to wait a couple days, I guess, for the premium to load on my account. And then we'll get back to broadcasting as soon as possible. So I have premium now. It's just going to take a little bit to load, I guess. We are live streaming on YouTube. So if you are on YouTube, you want to jump over there at HBAR Daily Show. We are live streaming still over there as well. And again, we'll give a shout out to Gilmore State's tokenizing real estate on Hedera. Go check them out. We'll give them another shout out later in the show as well. Go check out their token, GC token. I should probably put the token ID as well. Chris, let me know, brother, if you want me to put the token ID in the live stream moving forward as well. I see Rob Blitz down in the live stream over there as well on YouTube. What's up, brother? Again, feel free to leave a comment in the live stream if you guys are over there on YouTube as well. I can click on your comments there. But Cantor, I think per usual, you have a lot of great content to share. I didn't tap in too long with the Genfinity live stream over there, but it looked like it went really well. I liked what I enjoyed what I heard over there as well. And yeah, and speaking of the carrot, how are we going to bring people over? I completely believe the longer I've been in this space, like the simpler we can make the messages, right? Which when we're talking about marketing last week, a lot of you guys might have liked and retweeted better on Hedera, right? TBH. Or can't imagine being not an H barbarian or something like that, right? From Brandon, or obviously you guys all know my brother, what is HBAR, and so on, right? There's more and more that are happening. And I'm going to continue to make more content. Hopefully you guys want to pick it up. If not, that's your call, of course. But I know more and more creators in the ecosystem want to continue to push engagement in the ecosystem, right? We want to see it grow. And the simpler the narrative that we can really push of what our ecosystem is, I do believe we could really onboard that many more people, right? Which I've had a problem with this, right? I'm very, I think in a very complex way. I like to be very thorough and detailed, but I know a lot of people just get lost on certain things, right? In the past for various things, right? The simpler you can make what this space is, in my opinion, what's going to bring people, right? When we're at Karate Combat, right? Shout out to Postmaster. If we're there live, we're at a broadcast booth, right? And we're talking about what Hedera is, right? And we start talking about the tech, like we've lost 99% of people, right? Like no one wants to know unless we're marketing to devs, right? Which is totally fine. But really understanding, hey, like, are we marketing to other enterprises? Are we marketing to devs? Marketing to other retail potential investors, or just onboarding people, right? Like seeing and making the most of the opportunities that we have is going to be one of the most important things for our ecosystem moving forward, especially if the bull run is upon us in the coming months. I mean, we have to be on our absolute A game. And I hope, right, we saw Charles post his article, right? We haven't talked about on our show because we didn't do a show on Friday. But literally he posted like 10 minutes before the show would have happened. So we haven't even touched on that yet, right? So I'd like to transition the show here, the last 20 minutes, to talk about that for a little bit and some of the posts perhaps up in the Jumbotron as well. So if any of you guys want to jump in, I got to go find the article. But I appreciate everyone coming up to speak. So any of the speakers, if any of you read Charles' post, feel free to jump in.
I just gonna ask a quick question just so I don't forget. But it's a side question, podcaster. These interviews you're doing, are they going to be on a space, podcast, YouTube? Okay, good talk, good talk. We will reply after. Well, I did read Charles's tweet, and I agreed with everything. I just, in my opinion, unless the HBAR Foundation gets a makeover, we're still going to have the issues we're dealing with. But from the response, I feel like the change is coming, but just not yet. That's what I got out of it.
Yeah, I appreciate the take. Foxman, if you want to jump in.
I got the same feedback as he did. I thought it was very thorough. I did appreciate the ownership that was taken. They did not try to deny or deflect really any of the accusations. So I appreciated that aspect of it as well. What's done is done. Own it, be a man, and and lay out the groundwork to improve. Which I feel like that is the start of it. The key is just going to be seeing the execution of it now. It all sounds good, but they have to follow through, or they'll really lose all of us after that. So I thought it was very well written. I wish it hadn't taken so long, but it sounds like a solid plan. So let's see it happen.
Yeah, brother, I completely agree. We're gonna do a little room reset before I jump in on the article. I just added the my screen. I just shared my screen on YouTube as well. So shout out to everyone on YouTube. Again, if you want to join us here on the X Spaces on the broadcast, I have the link up in the screen as well. Let's do. We try to stay up to date with all the giveaways as well. We try to do them pretty much every show. Some shows we don't do them though. Let's give away, let's say, 1,000 H Suite tokens. Shout out to everyone that has been donating various tokens in the ecosystem. Let's do some H Suite today. Again, all you gotta do is like and retweet the show here today on X to be entered. All right, and it looks like we have enough to run the Twitter picker after the show as well. We'll cover some of the posts up in the Jumbotron shortly, but I did want to touch on my take as well of Charles Adkins. Here, give me 1 second to change my tab so I can share it on YouTube as well. Second here. How do I go ahead, bro?
I think your point earlier about keeping the message simple is super important. We don't want another situation like where the HBAR Bulls started talking about things out in the galaxy and whatnot during the karate combat fight interview. So we need to, and maybe that's something that we all work on together. Maybe we can start a thread where people, offer their suggestions. I mean, it's a simple question, but to deliver a simple answer that actually conveys what is happening here, it isn't quite so easy.
Yeah, again, I mean, keeping it as simple as possible. I did, you know what? We're not going to read the article for those of you guys. I just found it. Here you go. Bullish, yes, right here. And then let me find it on X as well so I can share it with you guys. So if you missed my post this weekend, or actually last Friday, let me find it on X so I can share it up in the Jumbotron as well. Almost got it, but I appreciate everyone's take. Postmaster Kenter, if you want to jump in, you're welcome to give your take before I jump in here on Charles' article here. Let's see, where is it? Right. Let's see. Cancer, can you hear me, brother?
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So I'll make sure I'm not rugging here. Okay, I don't know why it's not loading. Oh, Postmaster, appreciate it. Postmaster, if you want to give a take on Charles' post, you're welcome
I
to.
haven't.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this a good read, and I like to take things over before I kind of give answers to.
Yeah.
That's kind of.
Awesome. Okay. I just manually looked up Charles' post, so give me 1 second. I quote retweeted it, so give me 1 second to find it since I gotta manually scroll. Let's see. Gosh, okay. Of course it doesn't want to load. Okay. Oh my gosh. How do I mean, there's not really another way to find it without just manually clicking on it. Okay. Let me try to find it one more time. Well, it doesn't want to load, so I'm just literally just gonna read it off the desktop. So you guys on YouTube, you can just follow along and read it here. For whatever reason, it's not loading on my phone per usual. So let me just read it, and you guys can kind of just listen. So I just said I'm bullish on Charles Atkins, right? At Hedera, hashtag HBAR. I said, and this is Charles Atkins' words, right? So if you guys didn't read it, I'm just going to paraphrase what he said. And I actually copied and pasted what he said, right? So he said, the feedback from the community has truly informed and shaped a lot of the new ideas and structures we are currently working to create and implement. I put Charles Atkins, right? I said, if you've been sleeping on Hedera, this is progress. And I pointed down. So I wrote a tiny thread, right? Again, just highlighting what he said. So I said, bullish on new HBAR content that resonates, right? Keeping it simple. So this is what Charles said, right? In the article, he said, going forward, our marketing efforts will also showcase high visibility and updated content that resonates with Web3 developers, users, and enthusiasts. Charles Atkins, right? Another point he made, which I just responded saying bullish on the voices of the HBAR retail community being heard. And this is what Charles said, right? Platforms will facilitate information sharing and ensure that the voices of the Hedera Networks community and users are heard so I can bring the information into the council, into the governing council. Charles Atkins, right? And so here's the final summation if you didn't get any of that right. So in summation, these are my words now. Let me click on it so it loads everything. I said this, right? One, speaking up works, right? And we are heard as a retail community. And then before I go on the next point, right, again, as Permeable said, right, we don't know, and this is just common sense, right? I don't even have to say this, but we don't know how it's going to be implemented 100%, right? We have to just kind of watch. We have to be patient. We have to continue to be patient, right? Even if it's tough, we have to see how it's rolled out, right? And if any of this is true, right, then yeah, I mean, we have to hold Charles accountable at this point because he is going to be the voice at the end of the day that helps empower the community here, right? So again, speaking up works, and we are heard as a retail community. Number two, new HBAR marketing that resonates is incoming, which we're already working on as a retail community. I'm literally making posts every single day as much as I can and try to keep it original, keep it clean, and push more people to the space, right? Three, I know a lot of you guys are as well, right? Three, new structures to empower the retail HBAR community will be set in place. I just said, right, the road to the top 10 is clear. Onward, Hedera. And thank you, Charles, right? So again, I mean, massive shout out to Charles, but I'm really, really interested in how all of this is going to play out, you know, and in regards to the foundation, obviously the foundation was touched on as well. And as a lot of people pretty much agree, right? There's going to have to be some major changes on that end as well. And we're just gonna have to see what the audits show, right? What Charles ends up coming up with, right? He made posts basically talking about what they're researching, right? So again, go read this article if you haven't seen it yet. He posted it last week on Friday, right before our show would have started. So we would have covered on Friday, but we might as well cover it today as well. Leave a comment down below as well if you enjoyed the article, if you have any suggestions for Charles, you have any feedback on the post as well, do let us know here at the HBAR Daily Show what you guys think. And it was quite a weekend for content. Those of you guys on YouTube right now, if you're watching the live stream, you can see my feed currently, and I mean, my feed's covered in Imagine Not Being an HBARbarian, my brother with his HBAR. Let me pull up. Let me find it really quick. I made another post here. Let me show it. I just said, right, this was Saturday. I said, in just 1 week, we had multiple viral posts in Hedera Retail, right? What could this community become as we rally together? And then both below our post to engage with, if you're not plugged in yet, which again, my phone's not loading, but go ahead and just scroll through my feed if you want to go find these posts. My brother was HBAR obviously happened in February. Bigger on Hedera actually happened a week ago on Monday, right? Bigger on Hedera TBH. And then Imagine Not Being an HBARbarian happened, I believe, on Friday. And then since then, there has been Imagine Not Being, where's it at? Right here. Imagine Not Being an HBARbarian, and then Retail Pays the Bills as well. If you guys jumped on those from Brandon, shout out to Brandon, Davenport as well. But again, the HBAR community is waking up. I know you guys are super hungry. You want new content. You want to rally, right? Just continue to like, continue to retweet, continue to comment. That is going to be the way moving forward, and continue to show up and support other creators, right? Other platforms. And yeah, I mean, that's going to be, I've seen close to well over 100,000 impressions maybe a couple 100,000 impressions across the board from various content creators, various community members. I'm just looking through all the impressions and just seeing. I mean, the HBAR ecosystem's waking up, and more people are coming together, learning about the ecosystem. And again, Karate Combat in 10 days, right? The next event. One of the absolute biggest, single biggest opportunities to engage with the network, to support one another, right? And to show up, right? I'm super bullish on Karate Combat, what they're doing. Again, regardless of, I'm not going to sit here and never really tell you guys to buy any tokens. I've owned Karate Combat tokens, right? But I mainly trade in and out of tokens, but to engage with their platform, right? To purchase tokens, to engage with the platform, I'd always encourage people to engage with the platform, right? Which technically means to buy tokens, but none of that's ever financial advice, right? I'm always going to encourage people to engage with various platforms and builders in the ecosystem, right? So I think that goes without being said, without saying, but I'm always going to say, I'm not, no financial advice on any of this. Just do your research, do your due diligence, and check out what the next, basically, Web3 platform in terms of fighters, essentially, right, is doing here, and it's built on Hedera, right? Let's not miss that fact as well. All right, Foxman, Postmaster, if you guys want to jump in on any of the alpha, we'll start wrapping up the show here in the next 5-10 minutes or so. If you guys want to jump in.
Much to say.
No worries, brother. Postmaster, if you want to jump in. If not, I'm going to go through some posts up in the Jumbotron as well.
Go ahead, man. I'm just out for a little walk. Trying to chat, but yeah, no real news. So yeah, go for it, man.
Awesome. And then anyone that's shooting me a DM, yeah, appreciate it. I'm going to reconnect with you guys as soon as I'm able to after this show concludes here today. So I'm just going to scroll through some of the posts up in the Jumbotron. So again, you guys, a record-breaking, this just in, right? The weather forecast, a record-breaking HBAR heat wave is in effect until further notice. If you guys want to go up into the Jumbotron, feel free to quote retweet it, literally just copy and paste it. I think that's a great one as well. And yeah, in terms of the summer where I live currently, it's like 120 degrees above, right? It's horrendous over here. So I'm feeling the heat wave first IRL, and we got some much needed rain last night, which I really appreciated. But man, I mean, seeing the engagement from the community across the board over the last few days, over the last week, really, I mean, I think over the last week, apart from February when my brother, what is HBAR happened, which if you guys didn't know, myself, Fresh, and Patches, we started my brother was HBAR Little Trend when it first kicked off that night. It was like at 1 or 2 in the morning my time, and since then I've been super bullish on the ecosystem after seeing that. But recently, since we saw this last week, seeing the engagement across the board while the market's still down, right? Where the market is not up in any significant way, in my opinion, right? Obviously, we see some green candles, which I'm not really fazed by personally. I think until we actually see the stochastic RSI, which, you know what, let me pull up coin market cap. Let me pull up trading view. So for those of you guys, again, on YouTube, let me pull up the stochastic RSI for Bitcoin so I can give you guys my full analysis here as well. And then, of course, I posted a post on the stochastic as well. But yeah, until we see the fullness, yeah, look at that, 63, 669. Yeah, that's wild for Bitcoin. And you love to see it, right? You want to see it, but again, this market is so extremely volatile that those candles can get wiped away at any time. I'm not that excited. I mean, it could be a fake out as well, right? So let me pull up the monthly. Yeah. So the blue, as I told you guys before, those of you guys watching the screen over here on YouTube, the blue line is still under the orange, which again, it needs to cross above. I'm looking in the indicators since we're seeing a little bit more volatility as of late. That could speed things up, which I've been saying, right? Q3, Q4. We're gonna have to see, right? So August, September. I was saying September would be when the cross happened, but it could happen next month in August. It's really just going to be a day-to-day thing where I'm just kind of watching and seeing what month. But we're close. I mean, we're so extremely close as to whatever is going to happen next. So again, just be patient, strap in, lock in, and wait for the one of the greatest rides of your life. If this is your first cycle, welcome. But yeah, I mean, August, September is really going to be whatever is going to happen next here. What are we in July here? That looks like, I mean, that's literally a bullish hammer, which is one of the best indicators of candles that you could have. So right now, July sitting looks great on a candle. I gotta pull up a couple other indicators. Let me pull up the RSI here as well. Second. Yeah, RSI looks good. On the monthly, sitting around that 60 range. Let me go to the weekly. Yeah, weekly looks good. Strong bounce, super strong bounce off the 40 level above 55, which I said right historically. When Bitcoin's above 50, we're in a bull run. So yeah, we dipped a little bit below, but it wasn't any confirmation that I saw at least. So, and then literally the weekly, if you want to go look at the stochastic RSI on the weekly, the blue did cross up over the orange, which again, the higher time frames are way stronger. So I'm not too focused on the weekly, but the weekly did cross up over, which again, all of its bullish sentiment, which again, we just have to wait and see on the bigger time frames what's going to happen. So again, just be super patient. Wait till August, September. I'll let you guys know just kind of what I'm seeing in the market. It's about the middle post up in the Jumbotron. I basically just said, right, still waiting for the stochastic RSI to cross on Bitcoin. Perhaps August, September will confirm. And HBAR, again, HBAR looks stronger. Our community, right? Our community looks stronger and more primed than ever. DM me if you're not in our trading alpha chat already before the next wave, before the next leg up hits. Those of you guys that were in it, you know, we talked about all the tokens pretty much every single day as they're coming out. This period where we do surge, if that happens over the next few months, it's not going to be any different, right? We're going to continue to talk about it. The most volatile phase of the cycle is near. Lock in, higher level of trading. Appreciate your comments. 9 cent, 10 cent HBAR retest is coming if Bitcoin behaves. Again, I mean, Bitcoin HBAR is primed. It's really going to be what does the market makers, whoever controls this, right, whatever that looks like, is going to determine, of course, the community, right? For investing, for bullish, we're going viral, right? Promoting one another, pushing one another. Again, liking, retweeting one another's posts, right? From the people that are really leading the way here in the space. I mean, that's the simplest thing that you could do in the ecosystem, but it's very powerful, right? Let's not underestimate how powerful it is. And I encourage everyone, right? I've been saying this for a long time. I'd encourage everyone, go create some content, right? You never know which post is going to take off. I'll do my best to stay on top of it. Come share it in our space or our live chat, right? I'll like and retweet it as often as I see it, right? As long as it comes on my timeline here. And I'm here to support you guys, right? I'm here to help and push the ecosystem as much forward as possible. So again, those of you guys tuning in here today, check out the posts up in the Jumbotron. There's like 2 more posts I'll touch on. Again, from Sentiment, if you guys are not familiar with Sentiment, it looks like Hedera remains on top of crypto development activity leaderboard. You can go check it out for yourself. And as always, right, Hedera is like the lowest market cap token that you can pretty much buy at this point and it's leading the way on a bunch of metrics, right? Like that's just, it's no secret at this point. And Hedera, again, is just so extremely primed for what is yet to come, right? And I don't want this to be some hopium or copium, and we've been bag holders for a long time. We're community members, right? So there's some slang terms that people will use, right? But genuinely, we did not touch that much on Deloitte over the last week. We just touched on it a little bit, but I didn't really unpack it too much. But seeing companies like that, I did some research over the weekend. Seeing companies on that level, and sure, Eric Passini, you know, he used to work there, which I just found out over the weekend as well. Being in the conversations with the biggest companies in the world, apart from anything that retail does, right? Being in the conversation with the biggest companies in the world is going to be a game changer for Hedera. I don't have any doubt about that. I don't know what it's going to take to really say, okay, you know what, these are the institutions, these are the ones that are going to buy. I don't know if it's just based on regulation. Obviously, if you guys have any insights on that, do let me know. But everything seems to be so primed for Hedera whenever it is meant to take off. I'm seeing it. Sure, it should HBARs be handled differently from certain organizations, right? Based on what Charles Atkins was talking about. Sure, right? Like I've said this before, right? If there's corruption, a lot of places, which I'm not sweeping this under the rug, right? But I have said, right, like there is going to be corruption pretty much anywhere you go in the space, unfortunately. And we have to be able to just be wise enough to call it out, have the discernment, to stay the course and understand where this technology is heading, right? And hopefully this technology is stewarded well enough, to be adopted, right? That's the end goal with all of this, right? We're seeing karate combat, Hyundai, Key, right, with the satellites, potentially SpaceX, right, partnership. We're seeing Deloitte now, right, and there's so many others, right, Dell and so on, right. Some almost all these are like the biggest in their industries, or one of the biggest, right. So again, that conversation, being in the conversation, is going to be one of the most important things moving forward. And again, if you're not liking, retweeting, being active in the ecosystem, right, you're not only going to miss out on the opportunities that are in this ecosystem, but you're just going to miss out across the board on what's happening in this space, right? And not being a community member, not getting the word out, right? It's just one less person that's probably going to hear about this ecosystem, to be honest. And again, we're seeing over the last week, I think this is the most bullish I've ever been on Hedera as an ecosystem, and especially the community. And all it takes is you guys to continue to show up, continue to show support, and yeah, I mean, I couldn't be more bullish. I'm sitting here right now and letting you guys know I could not be any more bullish. Rob Blitz, you're on YouTube. You say you don't see a chart. My screen shows the chart on the broadcast, so you should be able to see it. Do let me know if you can't see it. But again, you guys, stochastic, the RSI, I haven't seen a cross just yet. But again, August, September, we will talk about it, and I will let you know how much more bullish I am. And of course, your tokens, your HBARs, your tokens, whatever, you'll know pretty much around the time when I'm telling you, because I see it in the charts, right? You guys are gonna be like, oh, okay, IPEX was right, right? This is what he's saying is right. And then of course, if it crosses down, which would really, really suck, but if it does, I'll let you know. Again, are you going to stick around till next summer, right? I'm going to be watching. I'm going to see which community members. We're not going anywhere, right? We're going to continue to host our shows. We're going to stay the course. We're prepared. We're more than prepared for this bull run, and we're just trying to level up ourselves, one another, and support one another. So again, if you're not in our alpha chat, shoot me a DM after this show is over. Happy to get you involved with what we are cooking and keeping you up to date with the latest plays. Speaking of the latest plays, I threw up a poll. Go check it out. And again, those of you guys that are super bullish on Sauce, H3, Pangolin, Heli Swap, any of the decks is really like, I'd highly recommend, like, don't just, and I'm not even singling anyone out or talking about anyone, just don't just talk about one of them, talk about all of them, right? I think that when one of them wins, arguably the other ones are going to get more attention, more exposure, right? The higher our TVL goes in the ecosystem, the higher chance any other decks, right? If H3 wins, Sauce wins, H3 wins, Pangolin wins, H3 wins, H3 wins, Heliswap wins, right? Like, more people are going to start locking their value on dexes, but everyone has to push together, right? That's what I believe personally. So I think singling out certain ones, I think moving forward, I'm going to continue to talk about Sauce. I'm going to continue to talk about H3, Heliswap, Pangolin, right? Hopefully bring them on the show, right? I know some of them do their own AMAs and do their own thing, which is cool, and that's fine. But if you guys haven't seen the poll, when looking for the next 10 to 50x HTS tokens, right, which some of them could be way higher than that, I'm just doing a frame of reference here. What factors do you look for? Comment below. Who do you choose, right? Which tokens are you mainly purchasing at the moment? So again, let me know what factors. I know some of you guys are shilling different tokens, H Suite, Grolf, Sauce. So I put Sauce, Pack, Karate, and Grolf, right? I just did it based on volume on Dex Screener. I have a little watch list there as well. So these are some of the highest volume tokens on the 24 hours. I just posted those at the top. So let me know which tokens you're buying, which ones you're most excited for. And again, once Bitcoin does cross up and Bitcoin's just set for the next leg up, whatever that looks like, HBAR and all your HTS tokens are going to look very, very strong. So again, if you guys are not buying, I'm not advising anyone to buy right now. But again, I don't have to say it. You can watch the charts with me. You guys can see what's going on in the ecosystem and kind of read between the lines what I'm telling you. If the bottom is in, you're gonna know within the next 30 to 60 days, right? And we're gonna talk about it. We've been covering it. I believe the bottom is in. I'll just say that. If I'm wrong, of course, we're gonna know within the next 30 to 60 days. But I'm just sitting on my hands, right? I haven't really made any trades in the last few months. I know some people think that's crazy and think you should be trading every day, which is fine too. But I just sit, I've tried my best to day trade and do all that, which is fine. I make money here and there. But the biggest wins that I've ever taken is when I just sit on my hands, look at the charts, and say, okay, I'm going to trade the biggest impulse moves. The biggest impulse move is about to happen. Do I sell everything, right? Which I'm not going to. I'm just going to hold it regardless if it drops. But do I just wait? Do I just hold it and wait, which is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to wait till the next leg up, and maybe I'll trade some HBAR for some tokens, right? That's what I did back in February. But yeah, all I can encourage everyone to do is continue to be patient, continue to be bullish, and stay up to date with what's going on in the ecosystem. Appreciate everyone tuning in here today to the HBAR Daily Show. Again, we didn't have a broadcast today on X because I don't have premium. So I just bought premium, and it's going to take at least another couple days that I heard of. So we're gonna get the broadcast going as soon as possible. I miss doing it. It is up on YouTube currently, but I know we don't get a ton of people on YouTube just yet. If you want to watch the live stream, feel free to jump on YouTube, and it is the link in our Linktree. Postmaster, if you want to say a few words before we wrap up the show here, then we'll do a shout out to our sponsor today.
Yeah, well, I'll let you give a good shout out to our sponsor. Just say thanks for everybody coming in today, and we'll see you again tomorrow.
Awesome, brother. Appreciate you coming up here to speak. Appreciate you continuing to grind in our ecosystem. Super bullish on you, brother. All right. As Postmaster said, we will catch you all tomorrow for our Tuesday HBAR Daily Show, episode 223. Master shout out to Gilmore Estates. Go shoot them a follow. Go check out what they are doing here in the Hedera retail ecosystem, tokenizing real estate on Hedera. Go check out their token, GC, as well. All right, you guys, appreciate everyone tuning in here today. Don't forget to like and retweet the show. We'll give away 1,000 H-Suite tokens as well. All you got to do is like and retweet to be entered. With that being said, we'll conclude the show here. Appreciate everyone tuning in here today. Much love. Peace, y'all. Also, if you guys are not in our alpha chat, again, DM me after the show. I'm really trying my best to get the highest quality individuals in this ecosystem all together. We have about 70, 80 members in there. If you're in there, feel free to share with a friend. Let them know how to join. We really want to just stay up to date with the latest alpha, and it is going to be one of the best ways to stay up to date outside of our shows as well. So again, if you're not in it, shoot me a DM after this show or right now. Just literally just go shoot me a DM, and I will let you know how to join our community as well. Now that we have, you know what? Here's some alpha as well. Now that I have premium, which I've kind of forced to get it, right? But I've been meaning to get it, but I guess you can't live stream anymore without it. I'm gonna set up a community group. That's not gonna be an alpha call one, but I do want to bring more people together around the show. In particular, we could do some alpha there as well, but I really want to keep, at least in the current time, I think it makes the most sense to have it private for the community members that want to be there and contribute. So again, if you want to join there, do let me know after the show is over. Appreciate everyone tuning in today. HBAR Elite, 2%, HBAR, Gilmore Estates, Guillermo, what's up, brother? LJ, Raptors, a real one. I was always pronouncing your name wrong. I don't know what that was. I was saying area loan. I don't know what that was. What's up, brother? Hache, IMX, Jack Diamond, Crypto Dad. And then we have, who's this? Crypto Bit Mag, and we have 2 anonymous listeners. Shout out to everyone tuning in today. Again, 1,000 H-Suite up for grabs. Don't forget to like and retweet. With that being said, let's end the show. Peace, y'all. Let's put some music on.